Hello artists! This week in art we are going to be taking another look at the Damien Hirst sharks, and we're going to take the shark that we drew last week and we're going to learn some watercolor techniques to watercolor it this week. So let's get started. Alright, so in our last lesson we did a drawing from observation. We tried to look at the shark, see the proportions of it, and draw a detailed drawing of the shark. If you did a pretty large one, then what you're going to do today is you're going to start by outlining it in Sharpie. If your drawing maybe was quite a bit smaller, maybe it was closer to the size of this drawing, then I would suggest you don't outline it in Sharpie, and I would suggest you outline it in a pen. You could use a nice drawing pen like this, but if you don't have that, just use a ballpoint pen. Make sure that you outline everything. So you're going to want to add the gills, any lines that you added, anything around the eye, the nostril, your teeth, the shark's little lips there. Every single thing should be outlined in pen to add detail. The next step we're going to do is we're going to use watercolors. And I'm going to suggest that you just use black and one of these two blues here. And we're going to do some mixing. I want you to look at this and see how the bottom of the shark, it's white, but it's not just white. It has some blue mixed in, and there is some pink in his mouth. I would suggest that you do that pink with a colored pencil because that is going to be much smaller and easier to do in the mouth, whether your drawing is large or small. When you're using watercolors, you have to remember that they're called watercolors for a reason. They're called water because you need to mix a lot of water in with the colors in order to get them to be really vibrant. We also don't want it to be completely opaque or dark. We want to be able to see some variation in color, and we want to be able to see that it's watercolor. And so what I would suggest that you do is I would suggest adding, I had some paint on my brush there already, but I would suggest adding water onto your paper. This is where it's helpful if you have like a watercolor paper that's a little bit heavier. And then go ahead and just take a little paint and put it in, and it will spread nicely in that water. Do mixed colors and take a look at this drawing as you're doing it, or at this photo, to see how you've got variation in colors. You've got darker spots, you've got lighter spots. So I'm going to go ahead and paint mine, and just make sure you use quite a bit of water and blend between your top section and your lower section. Take a look at where it's darker, where you have shadow, and try to make a realistic painting of a shark. You're not going to want to add too much black. What you could do also is you could put a little blue off to the side, rinse it out, get just a drip of black and add it in. And then if you add more water, that's going to end up looking like a grayish blue, which is really pretty. So you might want to add that in on your shark.